It's the end of the school year and you want to pull your kid out of school and start homeschooling. Or maybe you have a little one who's supposed to start school in the fall and you want to homeschool them. Maybe your biggest roadblock is, can we even afford to homeschool though? You really want to, but you just don't know if your budget's going to make it work. You've heard statistics from places like tutors.com or great homeschooling conventions, how the average homeschooling family spends anywhere from $500 to $2,500 a year on each individual student. You can't sacrifice that much of your budget. I mean, depending on where you live, that's anywhere from 0.5% to 7.5% of your annual take-home pay. Is this why homeschoolers wear denim so much? Because it's the most durable fabric? Does this mean your kids have to go without shoes?
My kid needs shoes. You want to tell him he doesn't get shoes?
I'm here to tell you, friends, it's not as bad as you think. I want to share with you today my top 12 tips, say that 5 times fast, for homeschooling on a budget. Hello and welcome to Mile High Homeschool. If you are new here, my name is Megan. I am a second-generation homeschooler and I like to make homeschooling and homemaking videos, not because I'm an expert, but because I just want to share some inspiration and encouragement with you on your journey. So I have 12 tips here that I'm going to run through pretty quickly, and if you want me to expand on any of them, just leave a comment down below and I'm happy to do that. Number 1, you don't need the biggest, best, shiniest, newest curriculum. A lot of times the curriculums that you see the most are the ones that have the biggest advertising budget. That doesn't mean they're the best fit for your family. Online and digital curriculums are great and have their place, but they are often very expensive. It's worth it to do your research and find one that might be a little less well known or maybe a little less well advertised, but that is a better fit for you and your budget. Number 2, group subjects. A great way to save money and time is to teach one subject to all of your kids at the same time, i.e., history or science. Some people I know even do language arts and spelling. If you can make it work with a larger group of kids for only one curriculum, that's going to cut down on the books, the supplies, and everything else that you need for that particular subject. Number 3, think long term. Can you use this curriculum with multiple kids or for multiple years? This is one of the reasons why I love Story of the World as a history curriculum, because it's a group subject that I can use for all of my kids at the same time. We're going to use it for multiple years in a row. We repeat it every 4 years. And yes, I realize I'm going to have to supplement American history and Colorado history as we go through it. However, it's easier to supplement 1 year only as opposed to changing history curriculum every single year or buying a new textbook and workbook every single year for each of my kids. Number 4, PDFs are your friend. Even if you don't have a nice printer at home and you say, Megan, it's not budget friendly for me to print at home, you can print at your local library, or maybe even a local office supply store will let you print off for fairly cheap. It's worth it to have a printable curriculum that you own the rights to, and then you can reproduce every year for your kids on a cheaper budget and a cheaper basis than having to buy a new workbook every single year. You don't even need to have a fancy binding machine if you don't want to. Yes, they are convenient, and yes, we did get one for this next year in school. However, this last school year, we had printable curriculums. I printed them off and simply organized them in a file folder in a filing cabinet next to my desk. 3-ring binders work great too. Number 5, use library books. Get multiple library cards from multiple library systems and use your libraries. Even if you are stressed out about the idea of going into a library like I am with all of my kids, figure out how to use their card catalog system and online reserve the holds. And then when they're ready for pickup, you simply go to the library, go through the drive-through window, pick up all the books and leave. It is so much simpler. And I'll be honest, we have library cards to 3 different library systems. Number 6, used curriculum. No, it's not shiny and new and it doesn't have that new book smell and it's not wrapped in plastic, but Facebook groups, kids sales, thrift stores, thrift books, eBay, all kinds of used curriculum sales at different conferences, maybe even churches. It's worth it to keep your eyes open for used curriculum. A lot of times it's very gently used. It might be a book that has the spine a little bit creased, or maybe they had already done the first lesson or two and there's some writing in it, but it's nothing that's going to take forever for you to overcome or you can't figure out how to make it work for your family. Just take the time to maybe have something that's a little less shiny and new, and it'll save your budget in the long run. Old curriculum. I realize you're thinking, Megan, you just said used curriculum. That's the same thing. Not quite. A lot of antique curriculums are actually public domain on the internet now, and you can find reading, language arts, and math curriculums online for free. Yes, the books are old, the pictures in them are old, even the script and typing and word usage is old. But to me, I think if it was good enough to raise the greatest generation, it's good enough for my kids too. Number 8, do your own research. My friends, just because everyone in the Facebook mom group loves it, or everyone in the co-op loves it, or your sister-in-law thinks it's great, doesn't mean you have to use it. And it doesn't mean it's a good fit for your family. So figure out your teaching style, your kids' learning style, know their attention span, know the amount of time you have to commit to a curriculum every year, and do your own research to buy what's the best fit for your family. Because you might have a friend that is raving about this curriculum over here that costs $600, but while it works great for her, it's going to be a nightmare for your family to try to do. And if you spend $600 on it, you're going to feel guilty about it and force yourself to use it, and it's going to make homeschooling suck. So do not buy just what's popular, buy what's right for you. And now you might be saying, Megan, I don't know what's right for me. I'm new to homeschooling. I've never homeschooled before. You're asking too much. Take the time to figure it out, friends. You know your kid better than anybody else. If you want to narrow down your teaching style, go to 𝐷uffyreviews.com. She's got excellent descriptions of the different genres of homeschooling, because you'll hear terms like classical conversations or Charlotte Mason or group subject or unit study, all this stuff thrown out, and you're like, I don't know what this means. What is unschooling? It's okay. Take the time, read her descriptions. She's very thorough. She also has a quiz in her top picks homeschooling curriculum book that you can do that does a really good, like, not quite personality style, but more like curriculum style that you would fit with. Another awesome resource as well is the smilinghomeschooler.com. He has a super funny like homeschool mom personality test that you can do that is funny, but also pretty dang accurate when it comes to how you like to plan and that kind of thing, which can give you some insight onto what curriculum would actually fit best for you and your family. Number 9, don't wait till the last minute. I want you to plan ahead. Do the research, make a list, check it twice, and then watch for sales. Curriculum companies love to do sales in the spring and early summer. Homeschool conventions will have sales, or you can go there and there will be the curriculum company that is selling directly with a convention-only rate. You can find used curriculum online that people are trying to get rid of before they replace it for the next year. So if you know what you want ahead of time, it's much easier to buy it when it's cheap, and then you're not paying the stupid tax or the procrastination tax for not making up your mind ahead of time, and then you have to pay more at the last minute right before you start school, and you don't even know if it's something that you really love for your kids. Number 10, Christmas and birthday gifts. Now, don't shout me down. I promise I'm not being lame, but especially when it comes to literature books, they can be really expensive. If there's a specific book that you really want for your kids or your family that you know you're going to read and reread over and over again, or a book series or something like that, ask for it for Christmas or for your kids' birthdays. Your extended family is going to want to buy your kids gifts that they love and that you love and that are going to be cherished mementos in your family. So maybe your kid loves a particular series. Awesome. Tell the grandparents about it and they can get it for their birthday. The kid will be thrilled. Or maybe there's a specific classic children's story with these incredible illustrations that you really want to get. Cool. Tell your sister who's wanting to buy something for your kids that you want that as a family gift for all of them. So it might be more expensive, but it's one book for all 4 kids because you're going to read it to all 4 kids over and over again. And every time you bring it out, you'll talk about the aunt who was so kind. Trust me, it's a great resource. Number 11, you got to forget about FOMO, my friends. YouTube and Instagram influencers, it's their job to sell you on what is the greatest curriculum possible or the newest and next best thing. Trust me. That's why they talk about affiliate links and discount codes a lot. Now, I realize not every influencer out there is a terrible person, and I am not saying that. Please hear me. I am not saying that they're all corrupt. However, that's how they get paid, is by a portion of the sales that they're representing. And so I'm sure, will be very honest about all the pros for that curriculum, but they might not be as vocal or outspoken about the cons. Not that they wouldn't tell you about the cons if you asked them directly, but their job is to help sell the curriculum. That's why the curriculum company partnered with them. That's why YouTube has the rule about what companies are sponsored videos, because they need you to know, hey, this person is going to make money off of this video and off of this curriculum. So use discretion, use wisdom. I'm not saying that their reviews aren't honest about what's great, but maybe do a little bit of research into the cons about each curriculum as well, and realize that just because everybody else is using it doesn't mean you need to use it. Your homeschool isn't going to look like anybody else's homeschool, and it shouldn't, because your family isn't like everybody else's family. Number 12, This one might sting a little bit, but you might have to just swallow your pride or your bias. Might be a controversial one as well. But for example, I don't think that The Good and the Beautiful is a Christian curriculum. I'm not going to get into the doctrine and theology of it here, but suffice it to say that no, I don't think it is. However, I also don't think it's evil or bad. And their PDFs are great and colorful and beautiful and super affordable. And I don't think that their language arts or their math curriculum are going to corrupt my children. Now, I'm not going to depend on any curriculum to teach my kids the Bible or to teach the kids our worldview. And maybe you're secular and you don't want a religious curriculum. So you need to use wisdom and discretion to pick a curriculum that you can talk to your kids about. And if you get to a part in the curriculum that you don't agree with, secular or religious, you can look at it and say, hey, this curriculum says this, but this XYZ is our worldview. This is what we believe and why we believe it. Because you as the parent need to be grounded enough and well-versed enough in what you believe to explain that to your kids. You can't depend on a curriculum to teach that. That is your job as the parent. Lastly, Baker's Dozen, number 13, use what you've already got. You don't need fancy math manipulatives. You don't need some fancy craft project. Use the dried beans out of your cupboard. Use the pasta noodles. Get out a pen and paper and draw it out. Cut out shapes out of cardboard, color it in, make your kids part of it. Just use what you've already got. It's okay. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Megan, yeah, but what about the memberships to the museums or the zoos or the extracurriculars, the field trips? Same rules apply. Keep an eye out for sales. Usually they happen around holidays like Memorial Day, Labor Day, Christmas, 4th of July. You're going to have those sales. Black Friday, you can get sales for memberships and that kind of thing. Be a part of a co-op. Most co-ops are very low cost or even free. A lot of Facebook group co-ops are together simply just so they can do field trips. So take advantage of that. Usually museums and zoos will have free days that you can do. Take advantage of rec centers or local church groups. A lot of times you can do swimming lessons or maybe like a church league sports like Upward Sports or something like that through a local church. That's a little more cost effective than maybe doing a big organized sport or a specific club. Another option is look into maybe trading your time for your child's experience. Maybe there's a summer camp or a field trip that you can volunteer at so your kids can go for free. I know this year, because of how my husband's paternity leave is falling, he's going to volunteer at a local summer camp so that way all of our kids can go for free. Also, be realistic about how many activities you're signing your kid up for. Are you trying to keep up with the public schoolers' pace, or are you doing what's really best for your kids and your family? Here at the end, I wanted to let you guys know actually what our projected budget is for homeschooling over the next couple of years. So the 2025-2026 homeschool year, I will have a kindergartner and a third grader. And for the kindergartner, our projected expense is about $95. And for the third grader, the projected expense is about $163. So that's a total of $260 for both kids for the whole year. Sorry, my camera died. Like I said, it's going to be $260 total for the kindergartner and the third grader. Then the 2026-2027 homeschool year, we're going to have a first grader and a fourth grader. The total is only going to be $193. That's $50 for the first grader, $112 for the fourth grader, and the group subject is going to be $30. So homeschooling doesn't have to be something that breaks your budget. It doesn't have to be something that's super expensive and out there and out of reach. It does take time, it does take research, and it is going to be an investment. But the way I view it, it's an investment in my kids and their future, which honestly is the best thing that I can invest in. I hope this video gave you some ideas and inspiration. Comment down below what are ways that you make your budget stretch for homeschooling. What are some creative problem-solving things that you do to make it more affordable? If you have any questions, be sure to put them down in the comments, and I'd love to answer them and brainstorm with you and come up with ways that you can afford homeschooling as well. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.